Okay, bro, why are we only talking about the foreign internationals who are in the country? Why not the people who, despite being Bengalis, despite not being from the tribal Isabel, for example, the Hindus or the Christians, even they are bullied for the religion as well. And in many cases, I'm not going to say all, but a lot of this. For example, the number of Hindus living in Bangladesh since 2011 is 8.5% of the total population. That is around 12.73 million approximately.
It actually rose to 9%.
Doesn't, for example, even in a lot of places they are bullied or they face racial comment, for example, for being Hindus. There are places, or not places, actually many states in Bangladesh where Hindus get killed or get bullied, or they're forced to move out of their places where they live just because they are in a minority in that particular area.
Yeah,
So
and this has happened a lot. It's like communal violence just in South Asia is like high, and this actually was like this actually happened the most during like the Pakistani era, especially during the 1964 East Pakistan riots, where a lot of Hindus had were massacred, they were murdered, their houses were raided, and especially during the Liberation War, where
why
it's
not
like
we talk also about the fact during the migration, even Muslims were killed by the Hindus and Hindus were killed by the Muslims. Like it was
Yeah,
both way.
after
Only
the
one community can't
partition.
be killed.
Yeah, after the partition, in 1947, one of the largest migrations of all time took place.
Took
Millions of
place.
people were displaced. Like millions of Hindus in Pakistan had to flee to India because Pakistanis started massacring Hindus, and millions
hmm.
of Muslims in India had to flee India into Pakistan because Indians were massacring Muslims. Like
Yeah, it's like just in general the partition, like there's this delicate balance like of like communal belonging where it's like Muslims and Hindus stay together, but the partition just messed it up and just
Exactly.
ruined the balance.
yeah, the partition was made on religious
No,
lines. What do
this
you expect? To be
this
honest.
this issue
Honest,
this issue was actually created by the British. They followed the rule of divide and rule. So they divided the two communities so that it was easier for them to rule. They
Charter
didn't make it
policy.
like
yeah.
yeah.
For example, it's like during the British era, there were separate seats for Muslims and Hindus, so essentially they became
Exactly.
political
Exactly.
rivals.
It was a very
Yeah.
smart move by them, I believe.
Basically, they realized at one point that they could not continue to rule the subcontinent because of all the chaos, and they decided to pitch us against each other on the
Yeah.
basis of religious grounds because it's the most sensitive issue, and and that succeeded. We became rivals against each other. It caused intercommunal violence, racism, colorism, all of these issues, and even within religions, like even within castes, there's also a lot of violence between higher castes and lower castes, where they treat the lower castes like slaves and peasant workers.
Yeah.